Welcome to the True Tomorrows podcast.
Yeah.
Get ready for your weekly science fiction probe into the wild and captivating world of galactic flash fiction stories.
Oh, yeah.
Today, we're diving into two thrilling tales of cosmic adventure, so buckle up for blockbuster-level storytelling.
Right.
Rate and follow for more incredible journeys to True Tomorrows.
Yeah. You got
Our first science fiction probe takes us aboard the starship Celestial Dawn
Oh, yeah.
as they encounter this mysterious ancient cryopod drifting in deep space. Inside, they discover Aurora, a woman from Earth's distant past in suspended animation. This sets the stage for a classic Sleeping Beauty scenario, but in the cold vacuum of space.
Right.
Okay, let's unpack this. Finding a cryopod like that, it's like stumbling upon a time capsule, like floating amongst the stars. What makes a discovery like this so compelling right out of the gate?
Well, I think what's fascinating here is the immediate sense of mystery. As you said, that time capsule feeling, but also consider the sheer temporal gulf.
Right.
This isn't just finding an old artifact. It's encountering a living link to a potentially lost era of humanity. One before, as the story hints, our expansion into the galaxy.
Right.
It makes you wonder about the history we might have forgotten, or the pivotal events that led to our interstellar future.
It really does. And the crew, led by Captain Elena Mirov, brings Aurora aboard and revives her. Imagine waking up centuries in the future on a starship.
Right.
Aurora's initial confusion and awe at the unfamiliar technology offer a great fish-out-of-water perspective.
Oh, yeah.
You can almost feel her disorientation, seeing a world transformed in ways she couldn't possibly have conceived. What kind of challenges do you think someone from the distant past would face trying to adapt to such a radically different reality?
Well, the sheer sensory overload would be immense. Beyond the technological advancements, think about the societal structures. The cultural norms, even the fundamental understanding of the universe might have shifted dramatically. It's a common theme in science fiction, this idea of temporal displacement. And it often highlights not just the advancements, but also the potential loss of connection to one's origins.
Right.
The flash fiction story touches on this initial shock, but the long-term psychological and cultural adjustment would likely be a significant hurdle for Aurora.
Just as Aurora begins to grasp her situation, the Celestial Dawn is attacked by Lord Xyron's fleet.
Oh boy.
This immediately throws us into action. We learn that Xyron is hunting for ancient Earth artifacts and believes Aurora is a key prize. This raises the stakes considerably and makes Aurora's existence far more significant than just a historical curiosity.
Yeah.
What do you make of Xyron's immediate interest in Aurora? Does it suggest she holds intrinsic value, or is she a means to an end?
Xyron's aggressive pursuit strongly suggests that Aurora is more than just a historical anomaly. The connection to ancient Earth artifacts implies that she might possess knowledge, perhaps even genetic markers, that are crucial to unlocking something valuable from the past. It raises a classic science fiction trope. The past is a source of power or lost technology, something that future factions might seek to control or exploit for their own agendas.
The initial attack leads to a desperate fight for survival, with the crew of the Celestial Dawn determined to protect Aurora. Despite being weakened from cryosleep, Aurora witnesses this bravery firsthand as the ship takes heavy damage and they're forced to flee. It's quite moving, this immediate and fierce protectiveness from people who have only just met her. What do you think motivates this level of selflessness?
Well, it taps into a fundamental aspect of storytelling, and perhaps human nature itself, the defense of the vulnerable. The crew of the Celestial Dawn, representing a more advanced and presumably more enlightened future society, might see it as their moral imperative to protect someone from the past who is thrust into their world unprepared, targeted by a hostile force. It could also be a sense of responsibility for their discovery, a feeling that they are now her custodians in this strange new time.
The Celestial Dawn's sacrifice allows Aurora to escape in a pod, but she's left with the burning question, why is she so important to Lord Xyron? The captain's message hints at ancient Earth technology, adding another layer of intrigue. So what does this all mean? This moment of separation with Aurora adrift again, but now with this crucial question hanging over her, really propels the narrative forward. It's no longer just about survival. It's about understanding her place in this future conflict.
Exactly. The escape pod becomes a crucible for Aurora. She's gone from a passive recipient of events to someone actively seeking answers. The cryptic message about ancient technology serves as a narrative hook, prompting both Aurora and us to speculate about the nature of this lost knowledge and its potential impact on the future. This element of mystery is key to engaging with science fiction.
Back on board, the crew, including Aurora, decides to take the fight to Xyron. Using tactics potentially gleaned from Aurora's fragmented memories of ancient Earth, they launch a bold attack.
Wow.
This highlights how even seemingly outdated knowledge can be valuable in a futuristic setting. It's a clever twist, suggesting that the past might hold solutions for the future. Have you encountered this idea of the past informing the future in other science fiction narratives?
Absolutely. It's a recurring theme, often exploring the cyclical nature of technology and warfare. Think about stories where knowledge of forgotten strategies or even seemingly primitive technologies proves surprisingly effective against more advanced opponents. This flash fiction story cleverly inverts the expected power dynamic, suggesting that in a future overly reliant on certain technologies, a knowledge of older, perhaps more fundamental principles could offer a unique and unforeseen advantage.
The assault goes wrong, leading to capture and heavy losses for the Celestial Dawn. Aurora, Elena, and a few others escape, leading to a moment of despair and a renewed determination from Aurora to rescue her protectors. This shows her transformation from a passive observer to an active participant.
Right.
We see her really stepping into her own here.
Yeah.
What does this shift in Aurora's character tell us about the impact of adversity?
Well, it underscores the idea that even in the most disorienting and terrifying circumstances, the human spirit can adapt and find strength. Aurora's initial passivity was understandable given her situation, but the loyalty and sacrifice of the Celestial Dawn crew act as a catalyst for her transformation.
Yeah, okay.
She moves from being someone rescued to someone taking responsibility and actively fighting for those who protected her. This arc of personal growth in the face of hardship is a powerful narrative element.
A new daring rescue mission is planned, utilizing Aurora's knowledge of more archaic systems within Xyron's stronghold. This emphasizes the unexpected value of her past once again. The infiltration highlights themes of stealth and ingenuity over brute force. It's almost like her outdated knowledge becomes their secret weapon. Do you think this reliance on older systems within an advanced enemy's base is a plausible scenario, even in fiction?
It's a compelling narrative device. In any complex system, there are often legacy elements or vulnerabilities that might be overlooked in favor of focusing on the most advanced technologies.
Yeah.
Aurora's knowledge of these older systems could provide a blind spot in Xyron's defenses, a way to bypass sophisticated security measures that wouldn't anticipate such archaic methods. It speaks to the idea that over-reliance on cutting-edge technology can sometimes create unforeseen weaknesses.
The rescue is initially successful, but they are discovered, leading to a frantic escape and a confrontation between Aurora and Lord Xyron. Xyron's belief that Aurora is the key to the past, and his desire to reshape the future underscore his motivations.
Okay.
We finally get a clearer picture of why he's after her.
Right.
What do you make of Xyron's ambition to reshape the future, using knowledge from the past? Is this a common dystopian trope?
It's a classic dystopian ambition, the idea of manipulating history or lost knowledge to impose a desired future. Think of various science fiction narratives where powerful individuals or factions seek to control the past to solidify their power in the present and future. Xyron's desire suggests a potentially authoritarian vision, where ancient Earth technology could give him the means to dominate the galaxy and enforce his will regardless of the consequences.
Elena returns to save Aurora, leading to a climactic battle against Xyron within his crumbling fortress. Their teamwork and determination ultimately lead to Xyron's defeat, but not without a final devastating act. This is the high point of the action, that final showdown. What does the focus on teamwork between Elena and Aurora in this final confrontation signify?
Well, it highlights the power of connection and collaboration in overcoming even the most formidable adversaries. Elena, representing the future that embraced Aurora, and Aurora carrying the legacy of the past, come together to defeat Xyron, who seeks to exploit that past for his own selfish ends. It suggests that a unified approach, drawing strength from different perspectives and experiences, is ultimately more powerful than individual ambition or technological superiority.
Xyron triggers a device that critically damages the Celestial Dawn, causing it to fall towards a dying star. In a heroic sacrifice, Captain Elena Mirov ensures Aurora's escape, tasking her with telling their story. This moment of selflessness leaves a lasting impact. It's a truly poignant moment of sacrifice. What does this act of self-sacrifice communicate about the values of the Celestial Dawn's crew and perhaps humanity in this future?
Elena's sacrifice is the ultimate embodiment of their commitment to protecting Aurora and the values they represent.
Right.
It underscores the idea that even in a technologically advanced future, fundamental human values like courage, loyalty, and selflessness remain paramount. Her final request for Aurora to tell their story emphasizes the importance of bearing witness and ensuring that their sacrifices are not in vain. It speaks to the enduring power of narrative and memory.
Adrift in her escape pod, Aurora is eventually rescued. She shares her incredible tale of awakening in the future and the bravery of the Celestial Dawn's crew, becoming a symbol of hope and resilience in a vast and sometimes perilous galaxy. Her journey is far from over, hinting at future adventures. It's a bittersweet ending, but one that leaves the door open for more. What kind of impact do you think Aurora's story would have on the wider galaxy?
Aurora's tale would likely become legendary, a testament to the unexpected connections between the past and the future and the extraordinary bravery of the Celestial Dawn crew.
Right.
She becomes a living historical figure, a symbol of resilience in the face of the unknown, and a reminder of the potential dangers lurking in the pursuit of lost power. Her story could inspire hope and caution in equal measure, shaping the way future societies view their own history and their interactions with the unknown.
What an incredible flash fiction story.
Yes.
Now, for our second science fiction probe, we shift our focus to a future facing a different kind of threat, a pervasive darkness that corrupts the very essence of life.
Uh-oh.
Our next tale features a celestial warrior named Gabriel the Seraph, guardian of galactic equilibrium. He and his ally Raphael are summoned by the Seraph Council to confront this new darkness threatening a planet called Viridian IV.
Right.
This introduces a more overtly angelic figure in a science fiction context. What are your initial thoughts on blending these seemingly disparate genres?
It's a fascinating and often fruitful collision of archetypes.
Right.
By placing figures reminiscent of angels within a science fiction framework, the flash fiction story allows us to explore timeless themes of good versus evil, light versus darkness, but on a cosmic scale. It invites us to consider whether these fundamental moral concepts are universal, transcending specific mythologies or religious traditions, and potentially existing as fundamental forces within the universe itself.
The Council emphasizes the unique nature of this darkness. It doesn't just destroy, it corrupts living beings, turning them into malevolent versions of themselves. This presents a different kind of threat, one that targets the very essence of life. This corruption sounds particularly insidious. What makes this kind of transformative corruption more unsettling than simple annihilation?
Well, the idea of corruption strikes at the heart of identity and free will. Annihilation is finality, but corruption implies a violation, a twisting of something inherently good or neutral into something malevolent. The victims are not just gone, they are transformed into instruments of the darkness, often retaining their memories and skills, making them far more dangerous and psychologically disturbing to confront for those who knew them before. It raises profound questions about what it means to be oneself.
Gabriel and Raphael journey to Viridian IV, a once vibrant world now plagued by dark energy and its corrupted inhabitants.
Right.
Their arrival highlights the scale of the threat and their role as protectors of the innocent. You can just picture them arriving on this blighted world.
Oh, yeah.
What narrative purpose does the contrast between their celestial nature and the corrupted environment serve?
The stark contrast immediately establishes the magnitude of the darkness they face and underscores their role as beacons of hope. Their inherent light, their celestial nature, stands in direct opposition to the pervasive corruption, visually and thematically highlighting the battle between good and evil.
Right?
It also emphasizes the preciousness of what has been lost on Viridian IV, the vibrant world now consumed by this malevolent force.
They meet with the leaders of the resistance on Viridian IV, learning more about the nature of the corruption, how it spreads like a plague and turns people into ruthless, strategic enemies who retain their memories. This makes the corrupted far more dangerous and unsettling. The fact that they retain their memories adds a layer of tragedy. How does this detail amplify the challenges faced by the resistance?
It creates a deeply personal and morally complex conflict. The resistance fighters aren't just battling faceless enemies. They are fighting against corrupted versions of their loved ones, their friends, their former allies. This makes it incredibly difficult to maintain morale and to make tactical decisions, as there's the constant emotional weight of fighting those they once cared about. It also raises the stakes, as the corrupted can use their past knowledge against the resistance with ruthless efficiency.
Guided by a determined young woman named Arya, Gabriel, and Raphael, venture into the heart of the corrupted territory, encountering the twisted beings firsthand.
Right.
Their initial battle showcases their power, but also the tragic nature of their foes' former inhabitants, now lost to the darkness. It must be heartbreaking for the resistance fighters to face their corrupted loved ones. How does this tragic element affect Gabriel and Raphael, who are presented as more detached celestial beings?
Well, while Gabriel and Raphael might possess a more cosmic perspective, their role as guardians suggests the capacity for empathy and a deep understanding of the value of life. Witnessing this corruption firsthand, the perversion of beings who were once innocent would likely fuel their determination to combat the darkness. It serves as a tangible reminder of what they are fighting to protect and the devastating consequences of the darkness's spread.
They reach the epicenter of the corruption, a foreboding structure in a ruined city. A plan is formed involving a diversion by the resistance, while Gabriel and Raphael attempt to strike at the source. This sets up a classic infiltration scenario with high stakes. It's a familiar narrative structure, but the stakes feel incredibly high given the nature of the threat. What are the inherent risks in this kind of two-pronged approach?
Well, the success of this plan hinges on perfect coordination and the resilience of both the resistance fighters and the celestial warriors.
Right.
The resistance's diversionary attack draws attention and resources, making them vulnerable. Simultaneously, Gabriel and Raphael face the risk of being overwhelmed if they can't reach and neutralize the source of the corruption quickly enough. Any breakdown in communication or unexpected resistance could lead to catastrophic failure for both groups.
Inside the structure, they face powerful, elite corrupted guards in a fierce battle.
Right.
Despite their strength, they realize the entity controlling the corruption is far more powerful than they anticipated, feeding on darkness and despair.
Wow.
This creates a moment of seemingly insurmountable odds.
Oh, no.
It sounds like they've walked into a trap.
Yeah.
How does the entity's power source, darkness and despair, amplify the challenge for beings of light?
Well, it creates a direct counter to their inherent nature. Beings of light draw strength from hope, courage, and positive emotions, while this entity thrives on their opposites. The more despair and fear Gabriel and Raphael feel, the stronger the entity becomes. This establishes a psychological battle alongside the physical one, forcing them to not only overcome the corrupted guards, but also to resist the encroaching darkness within themselves.
Gabriel and Raphael launch a desperate attack against the entity, but it proves futile. They are defeated, and the entity gloats over its victory, seemingly extinguishing their light and condemning Viridian IV.
Oh my goodness.
This is a dark turning point in the story. Oh, wow.
It really looks like all hope is lost. Why is this moment of apparent defeat so crucial in narratives about the battle between good and evil?
Well, this moment of utter darkness serves to emphasize the magnitude of the threat and to highlight the seemingly insurmountable odds that the heroes face. It creates a sense of genuine despair, making their eventual triumph all the more impactful. It reinforces the idea that the battle against evil is rarely easy and often involves setbacks and moments where all hope seems lost, testing the very limits of the hero's resolve.
However, even in defeat, a spark of Gabriel's celestial light remains.
Oh, okay.
This tiny ember reignites, giving them the strength to rise again and face the entity. This highlights the enduring power of hope against overwhelming darkness. It's a classic trope, but it's effective here.
Yeah.
What does this small spark symbolize in the context of the story's themes? That single spark represents the indomitable nature of good and the resilience of hope, even in the face of overwhelming despair. It signifies that the light within cannot be completely extinguished, that even a tiny fragment can serve as a catalyst for renewal and a reminder of what they are fighting for. It's a powerful symbol of inner strength and the enduring power of the human or celestial spirit.
In a renewed battle, Gabriel and Raphael, their light amplified, finally defeat the entity, causing its dark stronghold to crumble and its influence over Viridian IV to wane.
Okay.
This showcases the triumph of light over darkness.
Yeah.
It's a satisfying resolution to the immediate conflict. What does the amplification of their light signify in this final confrontation?
The amplification of their light represents a resurgence of hope and the strengthening of their connection to the forces of good. It suggests that by refusing to succumb to despair, they have tapped into a greater power within themselves. The crumbling of the entity's stronghold is a visual representation of the breaking of its influence, the dispelling of the darkness that had enveloped Viridian IV.
With the entity gone, the corrupted beings falter, and the resistance, inspired by the angel's return, defeats the remaining forces. Viridian SC begins to heal, its vibrant nature slowly returning. This offers a sense of resolution and hope for the future of the planet.
Right.
What does the healing of Viridian the Sea symbolize on a larger scale?
Well, the restoration of Viridian the Feast's vibrant nature symbolizes the potential for renewal and recovery, even after experiencing profound corruption and darkness. It offers a message of hope that even seemingly insurmountable threats can be overcome and that life can ultimately reclaim its vitality. It also highlights the interconnectedness of the planet and the pervasive impact of the entity's influence.
Despite their victory, Gabriel understands that the darkness they faced is a larger cosmic threat.
Oh.
He and Raphael vow to continue their role as guardians, ready to confront any future outbreaks of this corruption throughout the galaxies. Their departure signifies an ongoing commitment to protecting the innocent. It sounds like their work is never truly done. What does this ending imply about the nature of good and evil in this fictional universe?
It suggests that the battle between good and evil is an ongoing cosmic struggle, not a conflict that can be definitively won. The darkness they faced isn't an isolated incident, but a recurring threat that requires constant vigilance and intervention.
Right.
Gabriel and Raphael's continued guardianship emphasizes the enduring responsibility of those who stand against the forces of corruption, highlighting the need for constant vigilance and the potential for future challenges.
What incredible tales of true tomorrows. From the awakened beauty facing a galactic tyrant to the celestial guardian battling a corrupting darkness, these flash fiction stories offer thrilling glimpses into the vast possibilities and perils of the future.
They do.
In Sleeping Beauty in Space, what stood out to you the most? Was it Aurora's resilience in the face of an unimaginable future, the bravery of the Celestial Dawn crew and their selfless sacrifice, or the intriguing mystery surrounding Aurora's significance and the ancient Earth technology? Consider the implications of waking up centuries in the future. What aspects would be most challenging or fascinating for you?
For me, the most compelling aspect was the unexpected value of the past in a technologically advanced future.
Right.
The idea that Aurora's seemingly outdated knowledge could become a crucial asset in their fight against Xyron is a fascinating inversion of typical sci-fi tropes. Waking up so far in the future would be a profound experience, and while the technological advancements would be astounding, I think the potential disconnect from my own time and culture would be the most challenging aspect.
In Galactic Archangel, what resonated with you about Gabriel's struggle against the corrupting darkness? Did the idea of a force that twists life itself rather than simply destroying it feel particularly unsettling? What does the story tell us about the enduring battle between light and darkness, even on a cosmic scale?
Well, the concept of a corruption that perverts and twists living beings is deeply unsettling.
Right.
It raises fundamental questions about the nature of identity and the fragility of free will.
Right.
This flash fiction story powerfully illustrates the enduring nature of the battle between good and evil, suggesting that this struggle is a fundamental aspect of the cosmos, requiring constant vigilance and the unwavering commitment of guardians like Gabriel and Raphael.
These stories, though brief, open up so many fascinating avenues for thought. What kind of ancient Earth technology might Lord Xyron have been after? Could there be others in cryosleep waiting to be discovered? What are the origins of the corrupting entity that Gabriel faced, and will it resurface?
These are the kinds of questions that good science fiction ignites in our minds. The possibilities for ancient Earth technology are vast, perhaps something related to faster-than-light travel or even forgotten forms of energy.
Right.
The idea of other sleepers lost in time is a classic trope with endless narrative potential, and the origins and potential return of the corrupting entity leave a lingering sense of cosmic unease, suggesting a larger, unseen conflict at play in the universe.
We encourage you to delve deeper into these themes, explore science fiction stories that deal with time displacement, galactic battles, and the nature of good and evil in the cosmos.
Oh, yeah.
Share your thoughts and theories with us. What kind of true tomorrows do you envision?
Consider what elements of these flash fiction stories resonated most with you. Do they spark optimism or caution about the future? What kind of challenges and triumphs do you imagine humanity might face as we venture further into the vastness of space? Your own imagination is the ultimate science fiction probe.
Thank you for joining us on this science fiction probe into the realms of flash fiction.
Yeah.
Don't forget to rate and follow the True Tomorrows podcast for more captivating journeys into the unknown.
Absolutely.
Until next week, keep exploring the possibilities of what tomorrow might hold.
Yes, explore.
And always remember, true tomorrows await.
They do.
See you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.